Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry we're a little late. Had some business that caused us to go a little longer than we wanted. Why don't we start off on page 1, Bill 5023, David Bykoff from the Fire Department.
Good afternoon, council members. The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of $305,000 and $333, $305,333 to support a fire prevention and safety grant that the fire department was awarded. This grant will employ a 40-hour-a-week full-time member of the fire department to provide community risk reduction or public education to communities throughout Baltimore County. This is a 95-15% match, but it is a 2-year grant. So there is no fiscal impact for this year, but we are requesting the supplemental appropriation.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments from the members? All right, thank you very much. We always like to think of Edith, exit drills in the home. For our kids, a stop, drop, and roll. For our parents, exit drills in the home. Very important. Why? Because if something happens in your home, you got to have a meeting place where everybody can meet so that the family's not out front and another member of the family's in the back running in to save the families in the front. Okay, flashback. Moving right along to page 4, Angelica Newport. Fiscal Administration, Bill 5123. Did I get the name right?
Close. Real
Good.
close. Good. Close enough.
What is
Angelique.
Angelique? Oh, that's easy enough.
Good afternoon, Chairman Jones and council members. The Department of Economic and Workforce Development is requesting approval of a grant award in the amount of $232,202. These grant funds were awarded by the Maryland State Arts Council under its Arts Relief Funding General Operating Support, ARGOS, grant program. The funding will be used to strengthen Baltimore County's capacity to support grant making by addressing technical deficiencies in outreach and in grant application management. They will also be used to fund planning activities that will explore ways the cultural arts program could change, reposition, or expand its capacity while outlining a strategic direction for the future. The grant is 1 year and there's no match required. The department requests your favorable approval for the ARGOS supplemental appropriation.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Hearing none, thank you very much. Next, we'll move on to page 7. No, forget that. Check that. Page 34. Miss Angelica? Sorry about that. Angelique? I'm sorry. I noticed you were here again for these grants, so we might as well get you straight.
Sounds good. So good afternoon again,
Good.
Chairman Jones and council members.
Glad you got up and take a stretch.
It's my pleasure to sit before you this afternoon to request the approval of the fiscal year 2024 Arts and Sciences Grants portfolio totaling $3,380,300. This portfolio includes general fund operating grants totaling $2,840,000 and 19 tourism program grants totaling $680,800. Also included are grants totaling $325,000 funded by a grant from the Maryland State Arts Council and a selection of additional grants totaling $34,500. The county's Commission on Arts and Sciences reviews and recommends grant awards based on a variety of criteria, including the benefit to our community. The recommendations represent a diverse portfolio that enhances our multicultural programming and experiences for residents of all ages. The department requests your favorable approval for the fiscal year 2024 Arts and Sciences Grants portfolio.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the members? I like deja vu. Mr. Secretary, the item we talked about, has it been resolved in a favorable manner? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, moving right along to page 17. Colonel Conger, how you doing? Doing good. You doing, sir?
Good afternoon,
Good.
Mr. Chair and members of the council. So the administration and the department are seeking the request for approval of a contract with Bodie Cellmark Forensics, Inc. to provide validation services for 6 robotic instruments used for genetic analysis for the police department's forensics services section, the biology unit, and to provide on-site training for up to 7 police laboratory personnel. Contract commences, of course, upon council approval, continues till completion of the validation process, and must be invoiced by September 29th, but compensation may not exceed $97,000.
Okay, thank you, Colonel. Any questions or comments from the members? Just curious, Colonel, how are you doing in terms of being caught up with the investigative of the crime scenes?
We're doing well. We make improvements all the time, and efforts like this obviously help us a long way.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure. Moving on to page 20, Ms. Faith Thomas, Real Estate Compliance, Contractor Sales.
Good afternoon, Council Chair and council members. The administration is requesting approval of 2 contracts to acquire land and easement access spanning in total approximately 0.091 acres for $20,975 for the construction of a sidewalk along Windsor Mill Road in Gwynn Oak. FM3 is a contract with Eric Hinton for $9,894 for land and easement access located at 6733 Windsor Mill Road. FM4 is a contract with Deborah Lloyd for $11,081 for land and easement access located at 6731 Windsor Mill Road. The properties are zoned DR 5.5. The acquired land will be used for highway widening areas and areas in paving, and the easements will be used for drainage and utility easements or revertible slope easements necessary to retain and support the highway and/or adjacent property. Each contract's compensation amount takes into account any adverse impacts to site improvements, and the values were determined by our in-house appraisers.
Okay, any questions or comments from the members? Thank you very much, Ms. Thomas, and I assume we have quite a few more properties to go.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving right along to page 20. Yes, ma'am.
Did you say quite a few?
Quite a few more to go.
Actually, we're down to 10
10?
of the 66.
10 of the 66.
In
That's
phase
good.
1, that is.
Okay, that's good.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
could I ask a question of Ms. Rogers and about, I had a constituent reach out to me along Windsor Mill Road, and I think they're we're working with them on right of way, but they have a commercial property. And so they were concerned that their property was being appraised based on residential value, not commercial value. After the meeting, I'll share the address with you. Thank you.
We have to take a look at it because there are some commercial, maybe 1 or 2 commercial properties in that first phase.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving right along to page 25. We have a couple of contracts. We'll do page 25 and 29. Mr. Anthony Russell.
Good evening, Chairman Jones and the County Council. DPWT is presenting two contracts to you tonight for approval. The first contract is for on-call environmental site assessments. This would provide services for Phase 1 and Phase 2 environmental assessments for remediation projects for Baltimore County and buildings or land that we're interested in buying. The number of projects with this will be assigned solely based on the county's needs and interest and will be assigned as required and as needed. The contract value for this one is $500,000. The length of the contract is 3 years with a possible 2-year extension. Two contractors were selected, both through the PSSC meeting. They were EA Engineering, Science and Technology, and the ARM Group. The second contract tonight is on-call watershed and stream restoration. This would provide service as required to develop environmental and engineering studies, designs, and reports for various stream restorations and upward waterland projects to achieve our federal and state mandated pollution load reductions and implement our water improvement program for Baltimore County. The value of this contract is $4 million. The term of this one is for 5 years with a possible 2 one-year extensions. This was also awarded through the PSSC. The 5 contractors chosen were WSP USA Inc., McCormick, KCI, Biohabitats, and Bayland. I think it's important to say too that both of these contracts have a 20% minority participation on them.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the members? Thank you very much, Mr. Russell. Next, we'll move right along to page 9. Page 9 is Deb Schindel, who will be doing the purchase order as well as 2 resolutions. And Councilman Marks, you want to add anything? Well, after, okay.
Good evening, Councilman President, members of the County Council. I actually have 3, 2 resolutions and 1 contract that are basically tied together that I'll be presenting today. But I first want to say thank you to Councilman Marks for your efforts with this project. It's a great collaborative discussion, and we really do appreciate your support. You've been a great supporter of this project. The first one that I have is the administration is currently requesting an approval of a 0 contract with, to be determined with a purchaser for the sale of the Perry Hall Mansion. The county is currently working with an auctioneer house to determine the viability of auctioning the property. And if successful, the auction will estimated to occur in late October. The Perry Hall Mansion is currently owned by Baltimore County. Although the county has done some work to stabilize this home over the several years, it has never been utilized by any department and is honestly in need of extensive maintenance and repairs before any type of use could be considered. In addition, the opportunity for the county use of this facility is very, very limited. Since the meeting, the current day permitting standards, including ADA, would be very difficult with the current Maryland Historic Trust requirements. This home is on Maryland Historic easement on the property and some of the structures inside the facility. Perry Hall, just to give you a brief history, was acquired in 2001. And it was placed on the MHT in 2003. It sits on 3.9 acres, and it is actually a beautiful old home. There are numerous restrictions with MHT that include a minimum of 5 days per year, that the facility be open to the public to view because it is gorgeous inside and out. And I do want to give you a little history about some of the things the county has done to try to stabilize the facility. In the past, we received a $400,000 grant from the state to assist with the stabilization on the exterior of the mansion back in 2004. In 2007, we commissioned an interior restoration feasibility study, and out of that study, we installed a new HVAC system and a fire alarm in 2009, which was approved, has to go through MHT approval. And in 2010, the porch was actually stabilized. And all of the work done. The capital cost of all of these projects was well over $1 million. To date, from 2013 to now, property management routinely inspects this facility and has completed 100 building work-related work orders to stabilize this facility. This site is currently not on public water or public septic, although I do want to mention this is one of the facilities that will be tied into the public sewer in 2015 when that whole large project in that community is done. So we're very excited about that. This property is right off of Dirt Lane, a dirt road off of Perry Hall Road that is used to access the site in between neighboring houses. There may be a possibility to bring the access for the home into another point of the property from Meeting House Road. There is no paved parking area, and the well is actually on the MHT also, so it will remain on a private well system in itself. So to conclude, this beautiful old home is really in need of love. MHT has been a wonderful partner with us also. They've asked us, there is some work that needs to be done immediately to this home that is going to require a large amount of money. And what the county's goal is to put this beautiful home back into private hands who will cherish the community and the integrity of this home as it was originally intended.
Thank you so much, Ms. Schindel. Councilman Marks, have any comments?
Thank you very much. Ms. Schindel, thank you for your help with this. Ms. Rogers, everyone associated with the administration. If you look over here to your right is a painting from roughly 1808. And that, believe it or not, is Perry Hall in the early 19th century. The mansion is in the right-hand side, and you can barely see what later became Bel Air Road, which was the driveway from the mansion to Baltimore City. This was actually a summer residence for the owner of the mansion at the time. So in 1774, 1775, Harry Dorsey Goff assembled 1,000 acres of land in what is now Perry Hall, finished construction of the mansion. It is a very historic property. In 1784, Methodist leaders converged here on their way to Lovely Lane Church in Baltimore, where they formally organized the church, Methodist Church. And Methodists, as you may know, were very active in the abolitionist movement. So this area is actually referred to by many Methodists as a cradle of Methodism. The property itself is 4 acres, as Ms. Schindel mentioned. The mansion is protected as a historic landmark. It cannot be demolished. The land cannot be subdivided for development. And under the terms of the easements, there would be a requirement that the public could view the mansion 6 times a year. In 1999, I was involved with numerous community leaders in Perry Hall in landmarking the property, and then in 2001, the county acquiring it under County Executive Rupersberger. And I think that was the appropriate thing to do at the time, because the county and the state were able to stabilize the structure and basically save it. But we have been trying since that time to find the appropriate uses for this property. And my opinion is now that it is protected, it cannot be demolished, it can't be developed. We should be looking for a private user who can finish the restoration. So again, I think this is the appropriate thing to be doing. I have confidence that the property will be cherished and will be preserved, and that a good private owner should be sought for this unique structure in northeastern Baltimore County.
Thank you very much. Yes, Councilman Catch.
Yes, Deb, what are the estimates for the cost of restoration?
We actually did not get official estimates, but we say it's upward of $1 million or $2 million to actually bring it up to where it's glory days. So it is a large investment in the county to then let it sit and not be utilized in its best capacity.
I know the state of Maryland, what they do or did when I was in the legislature is when there were stark properties on state land, they would give somebody the opportunity to live in the house for the rest of their lives, and they would have to restore it. Does the auction company think that there's going to be some bidders or what?
Actually, they're very optimistic.
Good.
We have been taking parallel courses. We have been reaching out to some folks in the community who have expressed some private interest in addition to going the parallel course. So the auctioneer does think that there is the appropriate buyer out there that's going to love this. And we also have some other people that are very interested in possibly purchasing it.
But the county is not pursuing a situation where the county would take possession of the house after the people no longer live there and then turn it into I think it could be a learning situation. But, and
Not
part
at this
of our
time.
tourism and I remember in the state legislature, we approved these funds for the mansion. And, I'm glad it's not going to, hopefully no one burns it down. That's a favorite trick. But I'm glad that it looks like we're going to be restoring it. But I just wish it was going to be one day in county hands and that it would turn into a learning experience, because I think it'd be very valuable. Thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Patoka.
Thank you. Ms. Schindel, would the end buyer be eligible for both county and state historic tax credits for the renovation?
Yes, they would.
Okay.
And they can also seek some grants from, and I will get to that in my next point. The county wants to, as I'm bringing to you also, contribute some grant money to help restore it. But then there are also other opportunities through the state and MHT that will help them connect and give them some grants to offset the cost.
So that's
We're
a
gonna look
great,
at that.
a great program, both from Baltimore County and also from the state of Maryland, because it offers 40% off what you would pay. So if you install an air conditioning system, it has to be structured, not for remodeling your kitchen, but for systemic issues to the building, like roof, like HVAC. And these are expensive components, but if you are only paying 60 cents on the dollar, it's a very attractive program to incentivize the renovation of our older homes.
Absolutely.
Any additional questions or comments? You going to move on to the grant?
Yes, sir. I have two more. The administration is requesting approval of a grant of $250,000 that will be made available to the potential or the successful buyer of the Perry Hall Mansion. This auction is estimated to occur in October. However, we would extend that if there is a private owner that would like to do that. The goal of this grant is to assist the new owner in stabilizing the home and to offset the costs of maintenance and utility repairs that will be set up by the Maryland Historic Trust easement. The new owner will have to apply for the grant, so they will come in and apply through the Department of Planning, who will also administer the grant. The potential new owner will be required to complete all repairs prior to reimbursement. And it's also important to note that all repairs must be approved by MHT before and after the county contributes any financial commitment. So we are very committed to make sure that they do what's appropriate with this funding. And then we would disperse the financing after we get an itemized bill and approved by property management for the work.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members? I believe I'll ask you to hang around, Ms. Schindel, but right now we have a speaker who is in person.
Sir, do you want me to come back and do the auction piece then?
No, go ahead, do all of it now.
Okay, thank you. The administration is requesting approval for the contract of the Atlantic Auctions for $32,400 for auctioneer services of the sale of the Perry Hall Mansion. The Perry Hall Mansion is currently owned, obviously, by Baltimore County. They will be working hand in hand to make sure that we market this thoroughly through anyone and all parties nationally that may be interested along with us. They are going to also administer the auction on auction day and also vet the potential bidders to their capacity and go through the whole complete taking turnkey operation of the auctioneer in October.
Any questions? How much was it?
It's in 32,400, and then that's the maximum that would be paid for their service.
Ms. Schindler,
Great.
would they get a share of the bid as well?
No, because there's no large current value on the property. We had to structure our contract this way to make sure that they were paid for their services. They would not get any percentage.
Okay.
Any additional questions or comments from the members? Ms. Schindel, I guess I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Why we're not just keeping it, doing something with the property?
So it's a very good question. We've owned this for a very long time. This property is very unique, and it is a really good question you're asking. It doesn't lend itself to government use well, unless you're going to do something like a museum. And we know that museums are dying breeds, large museums, but even then, it's not ADA accessible.
You're sending 3 million to museums in the city
And so
every year.
this is just not, the county's never done anything with this property. And we've let it just not be utilized. And it doesn't lend itself well to government use, is what I will say. It's not like it lends itself to putting an office in there. It has a lot of hurdles with it. And I think the county felt very strong that this could be a beautiful home that someone would love and cherish and really take care of and put it vibrant back into the community.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Councilman Martin.
And I've been trying to work on this for over a dozen years. I would love for it to be owned by Baltimore County and used for county uses. But there's this saying among historic preservationists that sometimes you can get demolition by neglect. The property continues to deteriorate. There's limited resources. Putting $2 million into this property is $2 million. It doesn't go somewhere else. I mean, like I said, in an ideal world, yeah, this might be a great public use. I think the county did the right thing buying it because it literally saved the structure. But as long as the property is protected and it's restored and it's available for public viewing 6 times a year, that's fine with me.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Any additional questions, comments? Thank you very much, Ms. Schindel. And we do have a speaker. Chris?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. It's Ms. Heather Patty, who is here in person.
Good evening, Chairperson and council members. I did not expect to go first, so a little unprepared. First of all, my name is Heather Patty. I am here personally and professionally. I am the president of the White Marsh Cowanton Community Association. We represent about 3,500 to 4,000 households of the 10,000 or so White Marsh households. The last population in the census of White Marsh was about 10,000 or so. I'm also personally here as a healthcare professional of over 20 years. I'm here to support and oppose a few of the different resolutions and bills that we have. I'll be as brief as I can. First and foremost, Resolution 2523, which is the resolution about the crematory. And this is more than just a Baltimore County issue or a White Marsh issue. It's very important that we have setbacks with these crematories. As I've learned and become very educated over the last almost 6 months, crematories basically operate as a medical incinerator and waste incinerators, as the resolution discusses. And there's a big need to regulate the atmospheric particulate matter on a state level. Obviously, it goes way beyond county matter, as we know from previous legislation. So we need annual inspections and MDE compliance. And I learned from in doing some research that this is not happening. In fact, one of the proposed crematory in White Marsh, the owner of that business has not been inspected at their Forest Hill location since 2012. So MDE currently is not upholding the current legislation that's on their books to do an annual inspection. Currently also, there are no federal or state laws governing locations of crematories relative to residential areas or vulnerable populations such as daycares, senior centers, assisted living, hospitals, et cetera. So there is currently no scientific reviewed data, which is what we call in healthcare peer-reviewed data, that shows that it's safe for such facilities to be in or around residential areas or vulnerable populations. So basically what that means is, even if some of these facilities are already in existence or operation within the locality of our state or county, it doesn't automatically mean that they're safe or that they're without human hazard. So passing this resolution not only encourages the state to do the right thing, but it shows that Baltimore County Council is being proactive and progressive on environmental matters and the health of future citizens. Can I just say which bills I'm for and opposed?
Yes, I was just getting ready to ask you. You signed up 3 times and
Yes.
we were talking about the mansion.
Yes.
So we will certainly accept that
Thank you.
testimony for the crematorium.
Mhm. There won't be any more sentences, just for and opposed.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. So we are for Bill 5323 by David Marks, well, you know what it is. So Bill 5223, we are for. We are for Resolution 2223 by you, Julian Jones. We are for Resolution 2223 by Julian Jones. And we are opposed to 5323, Bill 5323 by Todd Crandall. We firmly believe that the initial Bill 123 should stand as passed. It is a perfect bill. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us.
Mr. Chairman.
One thing I wanted to say, we have someone who signed up to testify online virtually, and they're not able to call in. Can I provide their information? And maybe we can call them at some point?
Okay. Let's find the person first. On this bill or another bill? Crematory. How about we wait till we get to them when we call their name? If they're not here, we'll let you do it. Tell Chris, I guess speak up when we call the person. Sure. Yeah, question, comment?
I just had a suggestion for the crematory bill. I doubt that the legislature would act this coming session. So I think it would be advisable for the council to, as part of this resolution, to contact the two committees, one in the House, one in the Senate, that handle these matters and ask them to study the issue. So, because
No, wait 1 second.
and
Okay, Councilman.
study the issue so that when the legislature considers it, they'll have facts and statistics that they can use to make a decision.
Okay.
Sure.
Real fast. Okay.
Assuming they've done the research. And we don't know. So, yeah, all I can say is it would be beneficial for the legislature to take a look at it and study it, ASAP, and then, they'll have something to base a decision on during the upcoming session. I was part of all this a long time ago, so, and this issue had not been studied. So, okay. Welcome.
How long you been in the legislature? 40 years. Okay, any additional questions or comments? That was our speaker on that issue, and now we will move on. Give me 1 second. Appointment of Mr. Hariko Tabala. But I was going to say your initials. HD. How you doing, sir? It's good seeing you since, I don't know, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, something like that.
Good afternoon, good evening,
Good afternoon.
Mr. Chair, members of the council. For the record, my name is Horacio Tablada, or HT. I go either way. I'm here today as appointee by County Executive Olszewski to run the Department of Environmental Protection, Sustainability, DEPS. And I really appreciate the meetings I had with many of you already, and some of you still have some meetings pending. And I really want today to briefly go over a little bit of my background, my professional experience, and also my goals and plans for the department. I was born and raised in Nicaragua. I graduated from NC State in 1979. It was the engineering degree. Since then, I also have 2 other degrees. I have a Master in Public Policy from the University of Maryland and a Master of Divinity from Capital Seminary. I worked for the Department of Environment since the beginning. In 1985, I was hired as a Public Health Engineer 1, which is the lowest level engineer you can be hired in the state system at that time. And that was before MDE was even created. Governor Schaefer created MDE in 1987, so we continue and I served the citizens of the state for 37 years until my retirement in December 2022. I started through my career, went through the ranks from Engineer 1, Project Manager, basically MPDS permit writer, all the way to becoming the 10th Secretary of the Environment. I worked for 6 governors, from Governor Hughes to Governor Hogan, when I retired in December 2022. I'm married to my lovely wife, Sharon. I have 3 adult children and 5 tremendous grandchildren. And some of them, one of them is a student in the Westchester Elementary School in Catonsville. So a little bit of my professional life, while working at MDE, I did many projects, very exciting projects. I went from Western Maryland to the Lower Eastern Shore. And some of the, in Baltimore County specifically, I worked with when the not so nice gasoline spill in Jacksonville I was very involved with that. It was a really sad time, but yet we were able to pull through. Working with the community is always important to work with the citizens. Many public meetings at night, I was able to establish relationship, and we're able to, today, the site's almost cleaned up. Also work with the Trade-Point Atlantic Development. Just to see that come through is an exciting time. And also some other projects like the Stevenson University with the Roseville Hospital transaction. I've been involved with that with Department of General Services. My goals in the for this department is that, first of all, thank you, my deputy Brady, who is sitting here. Many of you know him. That Department of Depths is it's a gold star department. What I find, that people are professional, highly qualified, and always providing customer service. And that's something that that we like to continue during this transition. If it's not broken, I don't fix it. Let's improve it, because we can always improve government systems. Second is working with maintaining compliance with the MS4, the stormwater compliance. The Chesapeake Bay is a treasure for all of us, and we need to do our part as Baltimore County for the Bay. And also then, trees is something that is this department, we are very passionate. I personally love trees. They're the lungs of everything that we do. And so I'd like to see more trees, maintain the trees, increase the trees, especially in urban areas where trees have not been, there are not many. And we see those Arbutus, Catonsville, the older community, Dundalk, and some of the older places. And lastly, we're continue to work on the Back River issue, especially the midges, and to maintain not just ensuring compliance with Baltimore City. Toward the plan myself, it's not under my department, it's the DPWT, but I have a lot of knowledge, and collaborating with the other directors is also a high mark. If you want to put me in one sentence, who is HT? I would say I'm about customer service. I am about that. I believe that, as somebody said, the customer may not be right, but customer service is always right. So I'm going to answer your calls. I'm going to involve with the community, engage to see what is the best way. We'd like to see Baltimore County become the leading county in Maryland dealing with environmental protection. With that, I urge or request your support, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Katz?
Yes, thank you. I can't say enough about MDE and their involvement in the 26,000-gallon gasoline spill in Jacksonville that scared the residents of that area, rightfully so. The MTBE additive in the gasoline, nobody knew what problems it would cause to people. And I'll never forget when during many of the hearings where you would have health experts in, et cetera, that if there's contaminated water, your body absorbs the most taking a shower. I just would have thought that, but taking a shower. But I just want to tell you about one funny thing that happened. The homes that had their wells contaminated with MTBE got a POET system to clean the water. And I would go about weekly for about a year because people were really upset. And somebody said to me, "Hey, Wade, why don't you taste some of this water that's been purified?" I said, "No." "Oh, well, I don't know. I will do it if somebody from Exxon did it as well." So you all got somebody from Exxon, and the two of us met at this constituent's house, and we did the two waters, and it was pretty gross to be. It smelled. It was awful. The POET water, but at least it was free of MTBE. So you see, I will do almost anything for my constituents, even possibly drink poisonous water. So, yeah, thank you.
Councilman Katz, thank you so much for providing an example for the rest of us.
I don't think that water was poisonous enough.
Turn my hair gray.
You say you have hair from it? I'll take a drink. Yeah, I guess it, no, sorry. Yes, Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. HT, thank you for appearing before us. I'd like to thank the county executive for nominating you. You are an outstanding choice for this agency. What I like about you is the hands-on leadership you've already provided my office, but also the fact that you can pick up the phone and go right to someone at the State Department of the Environment and get results while respecting the law. Do you have any thoughts on how we can balance the needs of the critical areas with economic development? That is a very sensitive issue in the waterfront. I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, as you know, critical area is a state law and something that we have to adhere to. The staff have been working. I have an outstanding manager, Regina, who many of you know, has been meeting with the Critical Area Commission. She worked for the commission. She's much more expert than I ever was or am or plan to be in critical areas. I know the basics of it, but I'm always looking for solution. How do we marry the needs of the community with the protection of the critical areas? The reason critical area laws were implemented in the 80s was to provide protection to the areas that's critical. That's why it's called critical areas. And so we cannot allow just full-blown development, or at the same time can be sensible, protective, smart development in those areas. So we're working with the commission, we're meeting with them. I don't know exactly where we are, but that's work in progress.
And looking for win-win solutions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, very good. Good luck. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr.
Okay.
Chair?
Yes,
If I may.
Council.
HT, as I mentioned to you earlier today, thanks for coming in and talking with us today. I think that you're an excellent choice. You have a handle on, and certainly the experience in our district, in the 7th District. I think, I don't think you need a briefing from me in terms of some of the issues that we face down in the 7th District. So again, I think you're an excellent choice. And as I mentioned to you earlier, you know, we have in the 7th District over the last few years, 4 or 5 years since your predecessor took over the department, Mr. Likens. Mr. Likens and the administration have been extremely supportive of our district and the issues that we face on the water and elsewhere in the 7th District. So you have some shoes to fill, but I have no doubt that you will fill them well. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Batok.
Thank you. Mr. Tablata, I'm going to call you Mr. Tablata for now. We may get to HT, but I'm not quite there yet, but we may get there. So I was really pleased to hear that you are fond and you said you love trees, because I look forward to implementing some reforestation initiatives, which I'll want to talk to you about. And I know some of the other council members may be interested in that, but it's something that, you know, tree canopy is really important for this county. And we want to make sure that we have the right balance of trees and to offset the level of development and some of the surfaces that we create. So look forward to working with that. We're working with you on those issues, and appreciate the time that you spent with me on going through some of your methods for leading the department. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any additional questions, comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, and we look forward to voting on you Monday. Thank you so much.
Tuesday, but it's Monday, say Labor Day.
Tuesday. Smart Alley. I guess they-
We're DR2.
No, thank you very much.
No, DR1.
Um,
2A.
Okay, moving right along. Mr. Marcus Wayne. Did I say that right?
It's not a bad last name to say. It's like Smith in China.
That's right. Or Jones.
Or Jones. There you go. All right. Well, Chairman Jones, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be here today. Thank you for your time. My name is Marcus Wang, and I'm your nominee for the Director of the Department of Economic and Workforce Development. And I want to thank the County Executive, Mr. John Olszewski Jr., for his trust and his support in nominating me for this position. I'm Chinese by blood. I'm an American by birth. I was born and raised right here in Baltimore County, right here in everyone's favorite District 3. Councilman Catch, we love it. I've lived all around the world.
You're doing so well.
What can I tell you? We love where we're from. I've lived all around the world, New York and London and Beijing and Shanghai, but I've come back.
Mr. Wang,
I've
you
come
need,
back.
you need 4 votes. You can only go so far complimenting one.
Councilman Catch, you have to vote 4 times for me. But I've been all around the world and I'm back to Baltimore County. You got me? There you go. We got the 1 vote. I appreciate it. I was born and raised here, GBMC, where my children were also born, where my parents worked. And I went to Gilman School for 12 years. And after that, I went to Harvard University for 4 years, graduated from there, and I got a full scholarship to Maryland law, thanks to the Hopkins family. I practiced hedge fund and international law at Daylight Piper in Manhattan. I launched Under Armour China, working for the great Kevin Plank, who hired me to go over there and open that market. And for the last 10 years, I've been so fortunate, the best 10 years of my life, I worked at a biotech that we founded called Zytogen. We do pre-implantation genetic testing for women and families who are undergoing IVF. We screen the embryos, we help them have healthy babies. We've done a lot of good for people, and it's been a tremendous honor. And in that interim, I've also served on many boards and commissions for Maryland Law, for Gilman School, for the state of Maryland, the Healthcare Commission, the Governor's Anti-Asian Hate Task Force, and I was honored to chair the Economic Development Advisory Board for County Executive Olszewski. And he asked me, he said, listen, my chairman is leaving, my chair is leaving, the director's leaving. I need you to be the new director. You'll get less money and less pay and less free time. And I said, great, that's a great pitch. What's the catch? And he said to me, you get to serve the people. And then I went home and told my wife, and she said, you took that personality test online. It says you're an idealist, and you believe and you care about this community. And now you have the opportunity to step up and not be a spectator, but to get on the playing field and try to make a difference for this beautiful community that you love. And it is a privilege to be here. And I've been in the saddle for 4 weeks. I've met every single one of the great teammates we have in our team. I've sat down with them individually. I think we've got really great people here, really great talent. And the only thing we need is a vision. We need a vision for what Baltimore County is and what it should be in the future. We have to future-proof our county for generations to come. I believe in 5 years, we should set a target of being the leader in X and Y industries. And what are those industries? We're collecting the data. We're soliciting input from all our stakeholders. These are the industries that are bringing the highest amount of tax revenue for our county to fund our infrastructure, our social safety net, and provide the services for all of our residents, especially our marginalized and underprivileged. These are going to be the industry sectors that attract and retain the highest quality individuals, the highest earning, the highest educated to our county. And most importantly, it's going to be the sectors that are going to provide those long coattails, the longest career ladder for every single person in our county who wants a job. We will provide them with the training. We will provide them with the opportunity that they need to sustain their families and sustain their communities. That is our vision, and we are going to lay down that vision, articulate it, and execute it for all the people of Baltimore. I have a beautiful wife, Stephanie. She was born and raised in London, and I have two small children. They're 2 and 4, and they have dual citizenship with the U.S. and U.K., and they have a home in London. And when they grow older, I want them to look at that world-class city, the finest city in the world, London, and I want them to say, I choose to live in Baltimore County because of the opportunity and the quality of life that exists here. And that is my goal for this county, my goal for this department. And I'm honored and I appreciate your support and the support of our county executive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Wayne, we certainly appreciate it very much. Long, extensive career. And I'm going to open up for questions.
Yep, Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
you have
Lit-
no
lit-
idea how much you have encouraged me to vote for you with your reference to London. My wife and I love London, and you have a house there?
We have a home there, yes.
You have a home there?
Beautiful place.
Really? Where?
Ealing.
Is it vacant some of the time?
Anytime we will personally take you around, Councilman Catch. It's a beautiful place. London is the past, the present, and the future. It is, they should hire me for the Tourism Commission really because they've got Silicon Valley, Wall Street, Hollywood in one place. They've got diversity united under one British national identity. They've got the finest infrastructure and culture. But I believe that as much as I love London, and I've been in world-class cities like Shanghai and Beijing and Tokyo, I believe that we can make Baltimore County the equivalent or the better of any place in this world.
There's no reason why not.
There's no reason why not. We have the people, we have the resources. All we need is the will and the vision to execute on it.
I don't think you asked us to stay at your home because it's pretty expensive in London.
You'll have to
only
babysit my
kidding.
children. I have two
Oh.
cute children. You can babysit them.
We're both, my wife and I are former school teachers. So hey, we're great.
You're very kind.
Okay.
Well,
Councilman Crandall?
thank you, Mr. Chair. I think after that exchange, the Inspector General is going to be calling one of you.
We love the Inspector General. She's a great person.
So Marcus, you had me at Gilman. Go Greyhounds.
Absolutely.
You were obviously a super intelligent, worldly guy. And I think that we're going to work well together. We have some really, really good things going on in the 7th District and throughout Baltimore County. And I think that you're already up to speed on most of them. I mentioned to you earlier today, thanks for coming in and talking to us, mentioned to you that I think that one way that you could be an asset to the county council is to work with us on this movement that really, since I've been in office, that we've been trying to update the county code to reflect the current economic environment and opportunities. And we did that with Trade Point Atlantic. I think each of us have done it with changing zoning classifications or at least allowed uses in certain zones to capitalize on opportunity. And I think that you could be a great asset in providing that type of advice to us. So good luck to you. I look forward to voting for you on Tuesday, and go Greyhounds.
You're very kind. Thank you, Councilman Crandall. We'll definitely be there for that, and go Greyhounds.
Okay. Councilman Patoka?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. MW? No, I'll call you Mr. Wang.
I'll answer to that as well. I aspire to be as cool as Horacio.
Good one. Mr. Wang, I just want to thank you. You and I had extensive discussion on how we can work to improve Baltimore County in terms of how we retain our local businesses, how we attract how we attract businesses to Baltimore County, and especially as it pertains to older commercial corridors. For me, Reister Sound Road corridor in the 2nd District and the Liberty Road corridor in the 2nd District. And I appreciate that we spoke, I think, a week ago, and this week you've scheduled a tour of the Woodmore Shopping Center.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you jumping on that quickly, and we will make sure that the schedule will work, that we'll get out to Woodmore with the leaders of the Woodmore Community Association, perhaps some of the merchants and some of the other key stakeholders that are really hoping that some of the commercial centers that at one time were the lifeblood of our inner beltway commercial areas can return to be that prideful place where people can shop and have a good day in our business district. So
We can bring the business back. We can bring the community back. We're going to put the will into it. And as you've seen, we're going to be very responsive to all the needs of all the constituents, all the residents of Baltimore County. And I look forward to our tour of Woodmore. We're going to make that happen. Thank
sure,
you, sir.
Thank you, and thank you for taking the initiative to make it happen.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Any additional questions, comments from the members? Yes, Councilman Marks?
I will be super brief. You are incredibly experienced for this. Looking forward to you raising the profile of this department even more. Thank you for our discussions about White Marsh Mall, about waterfront tourism, and Lockheed Martin, among others. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any additional questions, comments?
I'll say
Councilman
one
Patel?
quick thing as well. Mr. Wang, sorry, I was going to call you director. Well, I guess it's a little premature yet. We had talked about manufacturing and different opportunities here in Baltimore County, possibly biotech manufacturing. I think one of the issues we have in Baltimore County, and I say this more for the record, we have a lot of people in Baltimore County who simply don't make enough money in the jobs that they have. We have a lot of underemployed people, and I'm very excited about your appointment from the standpoint of we've got to do better in Baltimore County about attracting employers that can, help people sustain a dignified lifestyle and have a good career path and be able to grow in that career path. And that's all intertwined in economic development. And we're very excited that we have someone of your caliber that, has been in business, has been in different genres of business, and hopefully can get us back on the right track in Baltimore County and turn us back into that cutting edge community or county that we all want to be again. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Urtel. I couldn't agree more, and we're going to make it happen. Thank you.
All right. Any additional questions, comments? Thank you very much. And we will see you Tuesday.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Let me see. Now we will move on to Resolution 2323, page 38. Councilman Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And before I start, if I could, I have a intern that I'd like to recognize.
Sure.
Dion started with the office recently in the last week as an intern for the summer, but we're going to keep him on for the fall. So you'll be seeing him around legislative sessions, work sessions, and also in district. So thank you for your work. Looking forward to working with you over the fall.
Thank you.
And because I was thinking about doing that first, Mr. Chairman, what was the number that you mentioned?
2323.
Perfect.
Baltimore National Pike Commercial Revitalization District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After discussing with the community and the business community, we looked at the map for the current lines for the revitalization district and decided to expand it about 100 yards to encompass an area that's having a it's always been active, but there's a new supermarket coming in, and there's also some opportunities for investment in some of the parking lot space that has been underused. So I'm in favor of it, and so is the majority of the business community along Route 40.
Okay, great. Any questions or comments from the members? No, thank you very much. And Mr. Young, Councilman Young, we'll move on to page 40. Catonsville Commercial Revitalization District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 2423 expands the commercial revitalization district for Catonsville. It adds one parcel that originally, when the maps were drawn, was run by a nonprofit or owned by a nonprofit with no commercial use. The current owners are looking for commercial use, as well as kind of tying into the business community that it's been sort of sectioned out of. So the original use didn't have any benefit or need to be included, and the new use would be a benefit to the property owners and to the community.
Okay. Sounds good. Any questions, comments from the members? Hearing none. Moving right along to page 12, Councilman Marks. General Assembly. Setback regulations.
Page 42. Thank you very much. So from time to time, the county council asks the Maryland General Assembly to look at issues, regional water authority, fracking, other matters, the public policy. This resolution asks for the Maryland General Assembly to look at the issue of setbacks for crematoria. In 1960, only 3.6% of Americans chose cremation. The projected cremation rate for 2025 is 63.3%. This is clearly a practice that continues to grow. If this issue seems familiar, it should. There was a piece of legislation several months ago that attempted to deal with the proposed crematorium of Philadelphia Road. This resolution simply asks for the state of Maryland to enact policies that deal with distance requirements. There is no proposed distance requirement in this resolution. There's nothing in this resolution that says X number of feet. It simply asks them to look at this issue of crematoria. This is something that many of my constituents along the Philadelphia Road corridor are concerned about, and that's why I decided to go with this route. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the members?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Crandall.
Councilman, thank you for your leadership on this issue. I was fairly outspoken the last time that the issue came up in a different legislative matter. And I was going to ask the chair for a couple minutes before we started the work session today. And we were late, so I figured we would just get it started. But this is a good occasion for me to thank my colleagues on the council, our central staff. I lost my stepmother of 25 or so years recently, and this group and the central staff and the administration sent representatives to visit our family, and we appreciate it. So I know that has nothing to do with this resolution, but the support of all of you meant a lot to me and my family. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have a few speakers. So Chris, why don't you call our first speaker?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our first speaker is Adam Ferguson, and I believe Mr. Ferguson is on by telephone, so I won't be able to make him a panelist. However, I'm going to unmute him.
Okay, and let me just say, as the hour grows a little long, we certainly welcome and appreciate everyone's letting us know their thoughts and concerns surrounding issues. I know we have somewhere around 30 speakers, not just for this issue, but for several others. So feel free to say ditto. If somebody said the same thing you want to say, feel free to just say you support it, you oppose, or for it or against it, whatever have you. I guess my point is, don't feel like you have to use up all 3 minutes. All right, thank you. Go right ahead.
Certainly. Mr. Ferguson?
Hi.
Yes, we can
thank
hear
you.
you. Mhm.
Hi, good afternoon, council. I just wanted to call in and state my opposition for the crematorium in our neighborhood. I'm a longtime resident. My grandparents moved here in 1959. My mother grew up here right on Philadelphia Road. I grew up in the area also. We've heard a lot about what's been going on with the crematorium. Mr. Evans is, lack of a better term, hell-bent on putting that in our community. He's not listening to what the voters are saying. We do not want that here. Nobody wants them in the community. The people that vote for the council are the people that live in this community. He does not live in this community. We don't want it here. But he keeps pressing forward and doesn't listen. If you're a man who respects the community and respects what goes on in the community, you'll listen to what they're saying to you. He's not doing that. He's about the dollar, and he's about what he wants to do. If you respect the community and you want to work with the community, you listen to what they're telling you. And if it were me, I'd look for another property or another opportunity. Strongly opposed to it. We have enough going on Philadelphia Road. We have enough things that create pollutants and hazards in the area. But definitely wanted to call in today and state my opposition to this. Thank you.
Well, I thank you for calling in, and I would just remind everyone that the resolution is simply asking the state of Maryland to look at the issue and recommend some requirements on the distance. Most likely, nothing's going to stop this. Go right ahead. Next call.
The state of Maryland.
What they had. Oh, okay.
Globally at the issue.
Okay.
Our next speaker is Nadia Anura. Ms. Anura, you are on as a panelist. You may begin your testimony.
Chair and council members. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Very good. My name is Dr. Nadia Noura. I'm a professor of mathematics at Morgan State University, and I have been living in White Marsh area for the past 18 years. All members of my family and all my neighbors are strongly against building a crematorium. So in any residential area of Maryland, including our White Marsh area. It is very important to update CAMAR for safety of citizens of our state, especially children. It is very significant that there is no scientific evidence that shows it is safe to operate a crematory in or near a residential area. The chemical emitted from any crematory are known as carcinogens. They are very dangerous. Air pollution takes 2-3 years of life expectancy of a healthy person. The impact of pollution is much worse than that of AIDS. I've heard the statistics today on BBC News, and I was shocked. Other states and jurisdictions have already enacted such changes in COMAR. So we want also to be progressive and proactive in saving our present citizens and future citizens that will be born. The health and welfare of all citizens of the states of Maryland must be a priority #1 for the Maryland government and the Department of the Environment, but never the interest and profits of the funeral business. Living people and future children must have a very good chance for a good, clean air. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call and your comments. We really appreciate you taking the time to share them with us. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Jack King. Mr. King, you may unmute yourself. You're on as a panelist. You may begin your testimony. Mr. King, go ahead. We can hear you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you for your time, council members. I have serious concerns about the crematorium, and I understand that this Proposition 2523 is not specifically about the crematorium that is proposed in White Marsh, but everything that we've discussed as a community, you know, we haven't found any good reason for this crematorium to exist in our community. As other speakers have said, we've tried to plead with Mr. Evans. We understand that crematoriums offer a service that communities want. We understand that this is a business that needs to exist. What we question is why this crematorium needs to exist within 500 feet of open air restaurants, bakeries, businesses that have been here decades longer than this proposed crematorium that Mr. Evans is planning to build. We've heard from the Maryland EPA about how they do stack testing, and frankly, it's inadequate. Some of us have even gone up to the Evans Funeral Facility up in Forest Hill. We've seen the black smoke. We've seen the soot on cars. Frankly, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm really angry about this issue. I'm really angry that the community has zero power to prevent a vanity project of one man from polluting our environment. We heard from the Maryland Riverkeeper, Mr. Theo LeGrand, who expressed significant concerns about the particulate matter from this crematorium seeping into gunpowder and seeping into the bay. The potential for catastrophic pollution, it seems, is being blatantly ignored. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I think it's kind of an embarrassment. Everything we've heard tonight is about how the council is concerned about the environment, but you're not putting your money where your mouth is. None of you, except Mr. Marks, have to stand up and propose any other legislation that would prevent anything like this from happening in our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. King. We certainly appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Our next speaker, Mr. Chair, is Mark Hoff. Mr. Hoff, you are on as a panelist. You may begin your testimony.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the chair and the council taking my call and listening to my opinion. Like many other people in this call, residents of this direct area, I've been on the phone for about 2 hours waiting for y'all. So it's pretty important. Once again, my name is Mark Hoff. I represent the Saddlebrook community, which is probably about a football on a field half distance from this proposed site. My wife and I moved here about 25 years ago to raise our family. In that amount of time, as probably most of you know, the building and the traffic and the congestion in this area has literally I don't want to use the word, crazy, but it's been quite substantial with very little infrastructure improvement. Sometimes it actually takes us, and I'm telling you all the God's honest truth here. My son actually goes to the University of Maryland and drives here in this last semester from our home off of Philadelphia Road. This morning was a perfect example. It took him over 10 minutes to get to Route 43, which is about 1.5 miles. Sometimes it takes us up to 20 minutes to go the 1.5 miles from our home on Route 7 to Route 43 to access the highway. This happens because literally we live in a box. There's very, very few alternate routes to get out. And certainly a funeral home, I don't think is going to help that very much. The air quality in our area in the last 25 years as a resident, we've noticed how much different it is. The smells in the air, the haze in the air from the traffic on 95. My property literally backs up to 95. and it's much worse than it used to be. We really can't afford, I don't think that we can afford to take any more chances with these kind of developments and take chances with the air that we breathe. This is, there's going to be a lot of talk about chemicals and specifics of all that, but honestly, this is a quality of life issue. Okay, we have talked to Mr. Evans, and he has been very, very non-interested in what we have to say and words from the heart and our concerns. But the reason that we are so passionate about this is because it is a quality of life issue for us and our children. Let's face it, just a mile or two down the road, we have a landfill. A couple miles up the road, we have a landfill. We're sandwiched between them with the Route 40 corridor, which is deteriorated, and 95 on the other side. There are facilities, food preparation facilities, a daycare literally right across the street from this proposal. Okay, this, in my opinion, is insane. All right, there are little children literally playing outside right across the road. Several food businesses, like I said, and again, quality of life, air quality, traffic quality, and things like that. It just doesn't make sense when there's so many other places to go. It's not right for our local businesses. It's not right for the air we breathe. It's not right for the traffic and the congestion that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And leaders of the General
Mr.
Assembly,
Hoff,
I can tell you that it is
Mr. Hoff,
not right
could you-
for our community. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
you're
yes,
over
ma'am.
your 3 minutes. If you could wrap up your comments, please.
Absolutely. And the last couple things I had was, it's not right for our community. And lastly, when I hear comments about how nothing's going to change, we're going to push this down the road and talk about other things, have somebody look at it, we'll come back and deal with it later. This isn't right. Okay. We have invested a lot of our time, effort, and I'm sure you all have too, into this. It is time for the General Assembly to take a stand with our citizens, okay, and push back on this issue and find a better location for Mr. Evans and his endeavor. I thank you all. I hope you all have a great evening, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your comments, and thank you so much for calling in. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Akena Anora, which I'm assuming is related to Dr. Anora. So I only see one name on here, so I'm going to try her again and see if the other speaker is with her. Dr. Anora, is this Akena?
Yes, it is. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can. You may begin your testimony.
Okay. My name is Akena Anora, and I've lived in the White Marsh, Honeygo Ridge area for 18 years. And I have a master's in environmental science from Towson University. And I know for a fact that crematoriums are sources of air pollution, including mercury emission. And this mercury may cause subtle chronic health effects due to long-term low-dose exposure. And this is even increased when the bodies that are cremated have amalgam in their teeth. And this is very dangerous. That is why I support Resolution 2523. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nora. We appreciate you calling in and sharing your comments as well. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Melissa Shiflett. Ms. Shiflett, you are on, and you may begin your testimony.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Shiflett. Thank you so much for having me, Chairman Jones and council members, so that I may ask for your favorable support of Councilman Mark's resolution to make amendments to state regulations in regards to setback requirements for crematoriums in Maryland. I'm here today as a homeowner and board member of my HOA in White Marsh, and most importantly, I am here as a mother. Recently, I've spent some time researching crematoriums and the health risks associated with them. I was moved to act because of the unsettling information I found. I was also informed by MDE that there is currently no system in place to notify the public should a hazardous incident occur. It is my belief that placing a crematorium in close proximity to a residential area and to restaurants/businesses serving children would create unnecessary adverse effects, both in terms of health concerns and lost financial implications. Over the last few weeks, as part of my research, I have been conducting informal surveys and speaking with many different Baltimore County homeowners. I asked them how they'd feel about living in or purchasing a home close to a crematory or eating in a restaurant within close proximity to a crematory. Of everyone I spoke with, I did not hear one person suggest that they would be comfortable with this. In fact, many were an emphatic no. I am a firm believer in the quote, perception is 90% of reality. And I truly believe having crematoriums in close proximity to residential homes will hurt home values. In closing, I'd like to thank Councilman Marks for his efforts on this important work, and I respectfully ask that the council provide favorable support of this resolution.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shiflett. We appreciate your call. Next speaker, Ms. Pelcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Andy Dudek, and Mr. Dudek is here in person.
Welcome, Mr. Dudek.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman
Good afternoon.
and Councilman. My name is Andy Dudek and I live in White Marsh. I am here to testify in favor of Baltimore County Resolution 25-23. No new applications for incinerators can be licensed to operate in Baltimore County and most of the surrounding counties, including Baltimore City. The only exception are for crematory incinerators. These crematory incinerators do not have filters and are not required by law. The Maryland Department of the Environment does not test the air quality around the crematoriums. When the Maryland Department of the Environment receives a complaint, they will observe the area, but no air testing or stack testing. If they believe there is a problem, they will contract an environmental company to conduct the test. The Maryland Department of the Environment, when approving a crematorium, provides within a permit a 6-minute limit where heavy black and gray smoke can be emitted from the smokestack released into the air per each cremation. One funeral home owner and cremation operator informed me that he will call the fire department and make them aware that he is about to start a particular cremation where the black smoke could be released, and if they receive a fire call, it would be related to that action. These are prime examples of this critical problem where the Maryland General Assembly and the Maryland Department of the Environment can and should correct and amend setbacks from homes, schools, daycares, etc. This amendment is necessary and would not only protect the public health, safety, and welfare of all Baltimore County residents, but would benefit all citizens in the state of Maryland. Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging in there and coming in and sharing your concerns with us. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Chris, next speaker.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Jeffrey Gare, who is also here in person.
Mr. Gare, how are you, sir?
Good evening, Mr. Chair and fellow councilmen. My name is Jeffrey Gare. I'm employed with the Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services. Proprietor is Charles F. Evans, Jr. I manage one of his locations. I'm here this evening to oppose Resolution 2523. Here in our state of Maryland, crematories are heavily regulated with regulations, monitoring, and testing on a regular basis, as the state requires, as well as the Maryland Department of Environment. A few months back, the Maryland Department of Environment held an informational meeting open to the public out in the White Marsh area. Councilman Marks was there, thank you, as well as my employer, Charles Evans, and myself. The agency was very informative, not only their education, willingness to share their knowledge and any concerns that the attendees had on the subject of emissions, to try to ensure the safety and the protocols that they have and that they abide to given to them. I commend them for that meeting. Thank you. In recent past council work sessions, a significant amount of testimony was presented to you in regards to the safety of crematory emissions and the fact that there's more harm of a truck going up Philadelphia Road than there would be a crematory being operated in the community. The resolution notes that recent significant studies have raised potential health concerns for people living in close proximity to a cremation incinerator, including the possible emissions of mercury and other toxic compounds. This was discredited by this council's work session regarding the Bill 2523. The standards, policies, and procedures set forth cannot be compared to other states or countries. Oftentimes, people get on the internet, on their iPhone, their computer, etc. They see all these articles. It's from countries
You can continue.
that have very little concern about their environmental issues, and states that have very different policies and ways of monitoring themselves. So you can't compare it to what Maryland has. You know, the funeral establishments here all around the country, as well as the state and Baltimore County, they're only adjusting and responding to the consumers' requests and needs in the community. We all need professional services and services that provide products in our communities to make a community. All those businesses aren't there to fight the community. They're there to be a part of the community and support it and make it a community that grows in value. I'm asking the council here this evening that if you will please consider my testimony, decide to vote not to move forward with Resolution 2523.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Very much. Let me see, Councilman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
You
sir.
referenced the extensive regulations that you have to adhere by and also testing and things. You don't need to go into extreme detail, but can you just reference some of those things that you need to adhere by related to state regulations?
Well, state, they actually do air quality testing, okay? And they test the grounds of the property. State requests all the safety procedures and ventilation procedures of the retort, as well as the EPA does the same.
Just, is there anything or any regulation related to filters on your smokestacks? Or
There is a built-in mechanism in the smokestack itself. It's an optical sensor that if there is any smoke that would like maybe come out of the stack, for example, it shuts the unit down. That's automatically built into the system.
gotcha. And you're using, I mean, that's a national standard. That's not something that.
Well, that's a manufacturer, it's a
Yeah.
built-in, and the manufacturers put that system in all of their units. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Yeah. And but just from a state standpoint, there's no regulation related to any kind of official filter regulation you have to go by?
No, sir.
Okay.
But we do pass every time we are tested by the state as well as the Maryland EP.
Understood.
We are,
Thank you.
And
May I mention something?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Coun-
Councilman Marks?
Councilman Young, I'd be happy to amend the resolution to ask the state to look more globally at that issue, including filtering requirements.
I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. The idea that a filter is required implies that the filter needs to catch something.
correct.
And the
And since there's
temperature is,
nothing to catch, there's no filter needed. The reason being because of the afterburner underneath the retort burns at a higher temperature, which burns off the smoke and soot at a higher temperature so that the exhaust is clean and clear.
thank you.
And that sensor that I referred to shuts that off if it's not a clear.
So what does one of these machines cost?
But the unit itself, about 300,000.
Okay. Does Evans Funeral Home have a do they have the required permits or whatever they need to run this crematorium on Philadelphia Road?
On Philadelphia Road, not at this point.
Okay. Next question, Councilman Token?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Dudek, are you saying that there is no emissions of any particulate matter in addition to smoke emissions coming out of the stack?
That is correct, sir.
What is coming out of the stack? Is it just an emission of heat?
Yes, sir.
And all of the smoke and particulate matter is cleared up through
It's
the
burned off
afterburning?
through a higher temperature in what they call the after chamber.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions or concerns? Questions? I'll get to him in a minute. Yeah, did you have a question for Mr. Gear?
Here, yes.
Or did you have a statement in general? All right, give me 1 minute and let's see where we are with the questions. I will give you another opportunity to speak, but right now, let's wrap this up because we have a lot of other people waiting on other issues as well. So
I'm done unless there are other questions.
any additional questions, comments? Thank you very much. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Jason Vittori, who is also here in person.
Mr. Vittori, how you doing?
Well, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. My name is Jason Vittori, and I'm here to speak in opposition to this resolution. I think, as you all know, we were here, it was back April 3rd, bill number 2523, and now we're here for resolution 2523. It's, as Yogi Berra says, deja vu all over again. I don't want to repeat a lot of what we've already heard. I think obviously the community doesn't want a crematorium. That much is clear to everybody. We have received, again, as far as all the permits are the last step, and then you break ground with a shovel and you go build things. In this case, there's some state regulations and approvals that have to take place. There was previously a zoning hearing for the approval of this crematorium that took place, which meant the public had an opportunity to come up in a forum, for the public to give testimony in opposition to what the use was, to state all their reasons why they are opposed to what was being proposed there. That hearing took place, has concluded, and is final and no longer appealable. Obviously, we came back here in April 3rd with Bill 2523. On May 1st, I think Councilman Koch introduced a motion to table it, and Mr. Ertel seconded that motion, and there was a 6-1 vote to table Bill number 2523. So now we're here again, asking the council to, as I think Councilman Marks said, to see if the General Assembly would look into this. Well, what we're saying is we're encouraging you to amend the regulations in order to implement setback requirements. So we're not only telling them, look into it. We're saying you actually have to make setback requirements. We think you should do that. We're telling the General Assembly. And the basis of us doing so is that there are recent scientific studies that have raised potential health concerns for people living in close proximity to a crematorium incinerator, including the possible emission of mercury and other toxic compounds. And I know that was stated by Mr. Evans at the last meeting work session we had before on May 1st. Bill 2523 was voted down. They take out fillings, the things that would create mercury. Maybe that happens in China. It doesn't happen in the United States. It certainly doesn't happen in Maryland. It's not going to happen at this crematorium. As far as you concluding that we have a problem, I don't know why the bill wasn't passed. If we've done the scientific research, I don't think we have. I think what we're asking, and I don't know why Councilman Marks can't just send a letter to the General Assembly or to MDE, who already showed up and gave a presentation to everybody, if they in fact think the science is wrong. If we're asking them to look into it, they can look into it. But we're not asking them, and that's not what you're doing here. The entire council is saying, we think there's definitely a problem, is what this resolution says, and we think you should take action, and that action is create setbacks. That's all.
Thank you very much. Any questions? You go right ahead, Councilman Marks. You can stay, Mr. Tory. Something for him?
Just in general.
We'll go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, come on, the state legislators are adults here. We're not commanding them to do anything. They can ignore this resolution if they want. I represent people who clearly do not want this crematorium, but the issue is larger than just Philadelphia Road. They are asking us to listen to them. And I think a reasonable, moderate middle ground is to ask the state to look into this issue. We're not commanding them. They're not kindergartners. We're simply saying this is a reasonable public policy issue they should look into.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
That was the last speaker on this issue, Mr. Chair.
That was the last speaker.
Yes.
You wanted to make a comment, Mr. Dudak? I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute, because we got a lot of other people waiting.
Sure. Yeah, if you can go to the podium so the public can hear you.
Thank you. Just in regards to the zoning, I didn't have any knowledge, nor have I ever found anyone that had any knowledge that there was a zoning hearing. And from the day one, it only appeared that it was going to be for a funeral home, nothing about a crematorium. So.
Well, Mr. Dudak, I normally don't do this.
Okay.
I don't do this, but I guess feel compelled. When I first heard all the issues about the crematorium, I went on Google Earth to see exactly where it was. And the map on Google Earth said like a year ago, even longer, Evans Funeral Home Crematorium Services coming soon.
Thank you. It doesn't say that. It says cremation services. They all say that.
Okay.
And that's regarding those funeral homes, because it's 50% of their business at least.
Good point.
They do cremation services. It didn't say crematorium. It had never said that. And so it says cremation services, like all funeral homes do say. So that was never an issue, never a question, just in the zoning issue alone. But we had no knowledge of it. It was during COVID Apparently it was virtual. Nobody knew about it. In regards to the.
Go ahead. I'm looking at your minute.
He just mentioned the other issue, but in regards to the smokestack, the black smoke, Heather Patty, she worked up in Forest Hill on that same drive where Evans has the other crematory, and she has witnessed this herself. I know of somebody else that I know personally that has witnessed it on several occasions, this black smoke, gray smoke that comes out of the smokestack. And this other funeral home director and crematory operator, he informed me that this does occur and that at MDE does require, does put in their permit that they have up to 6 minutes per cremation where this particulate matter can be released into the air.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now, no more speakers. We'll move on to, where are we now? Let's see here. Page 43, Resolution 2623, Mr. Marks, Commission on Disabilities.
This is a resolution that directs the Commission on Disabilities to look at the accessibility of commercial building entrances for people who use wheelchairs, scooters, and walkers for mobility. It's my understanding that the ADA does not go very far in this respect. And all we're doing is asking for the Commission on Disabilities to simply look at this issue and present its recommendations to the Council before the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the members? Do you have a speaker? Or did
That
she-
speaker has already testified.
Already testified. Fantastic. We'll move right along, move right along, move right along. Give me 1 second. We'll move on to page 7. Page 7, Mr. Marks, manufacturing light, Bill 5223.
I could go into the details for this bill, but it's my intention at the next council meeting to ask that it be laid over to the next session.
Forget about it. We won't waste any more time. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
there is a speaker for this. I'm not sure what the testimony is. Do you want to still call the speaker?
Well, the speaker's been waiting. We'll let Mr. Marks give he said he's going to push it over. till the
I did
next time.
inform all parties that I was delaying this bill.
Well, let's hear from the speaker and let them know that what we're doing, and they still want to talk, speak, they waited on the line for quite some time.
Okay.
We want to
It's
accommodate them.
Aaron Budilov. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You're on. Yes.
Hi, wonderful. Good evening and thank you, Councilman. Appreciate the time today. My name is Aaron Budilov and I'm an owner's representative for the Bainbridge Companies. And Bainbridge is a nationwide multifamily owner, operator, contractor, and developer. Bainbridge was founded in '97, has built over 42,000 units across the country. The firm's presence concentrates mainly in the metro areas such as Greater Washington, D.C., including suburban Maryland, Baltimore, Richmond, Atlanta, Austin, Charlotte, Dallas, and Orlando. The organization has developed more than 15,000 units to date and has conducted over $5.4 billion worth of transactions since 2010. Bainbridge Acquisitions is the contract purchaser for 8010 and 8020 Corporate Drive, located in White Marsh, just south of the mall. This 11-acre site, just a little bit shy of it, currently houses 2 single-story vacant office buildings totaling 90,000 plus square feet. Both buildings were master leased at one point in time by MedStar Health from May 2010 to April 2022. The buildings are now completely vacant, and the owner engaged in a marketing campaign in the summer of 22 to sell these parcels as the office market was too weak to support re-tenanting. This very much remains the case today, with the current state of the office market in sharp decline, especially antiquated BC suburban space such as this. Bainbridge isn't new to the Baltimore area, and we've recently developed in Baltimore City, most notably Bainbridge Federal Hill Apartments in late 2018. Specifically, it's affluent communities. We've been focused on affluent communities such as White Marsh, and it's been a consistent focus of the firm. The region has strong population growth and has led by a robust education and health services sector, making an ideal location for our continued expansion in the region. We were encouraged by legislation Bill number 2122, which went into effect in May of 2022, as it unlocked the development potential of a handful of ML zone parcels in the county that would otherwise be financially unviable and remain blighted, vacant, and inactive due to significant decrease in suburban office market demand. After a competitive marketing process shortly after Bill 2122 was signed into effect, Bainbridge was selected by the owner in November of 2022 as the most qualified party to shepherd the site through redevelopment. Bateman went under contract with the owner in mid-December of 2022, and since then has been aggressively advancing its design and meeting with community stakeholders in hopes of getting the site ready for construction. Our concept plan was officially filed with the county on July 14th of this year for a total of 330 market rate Class A apartments. Our projected investment in Baltimore County for this project is over $100 million and will bring in over $950,000 of annual tax revenue once the project is fully stabilized. We've spent over $250,000 in design and pursuit costs to this date, met with Baltimore County subconsultants and community stakeholders. The project had a concept plan conference earlier this month, and the community input meeting is scheduled for the 27th. As with all projects, we're committed to hearing from the community, and to that end, we met with Councilman Marks and a representative of the Perry Hall Improvement Association in March of 23. From there, communications with the community have been ongoing, and we are meeting with the South Perry Hall Association this coming Tuesday, in fact. From our conversations with the community and Councilman Marks, we are aware of the concerns regarding the potential impacts from residential projects such as this, and we are sensitive to the specific concerns of what is perceived by some as a lot of simultaneous interest. We have been listening and gathering input and as part of the development process and look forward to continuing a dialogue with the community to address their concerns. The introduction of the bill here tonight, 5223, was very unexpected and is a hard pill for us to swallow in the light of the fact that it provides an exemption for other projects which submitted its plans in advance of ours, not too much in advance of ours, and is in the same design position as we are today. Again, while we are aware of the concerns over the addition of residential in this area and have been working on ways to address them, we never expected that we would be denied the opportunity to fairly proceed through the development plan process like other developers are being granted. To that extent,
perhaps you didn't hear, Mr. Marks is going to ask this bill to be pushed back. So you'll have another opportunity to testify.
Understood, and we appreciate your time tonight. We just wanted to, given the significant investment that we've made in this, we just wanted to make sure we had a fair opportunity to go through the process like others in the community. And when this bill was kind of came out, we wanted to make sure we at least had a moment to speak. So we're prepared to do so. So thank you for giving me the time tonight.
Well, we thank you for testifying, and we certainly want to make sure you have every opportunity to express your concerns. If you wait 1 second, Councilman Marks may have something to say.
The night is late. I'm not going to prolong this, but I specifically am holding this bill over to allow the developer to meet with the South Perry Hall Community Association.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see, where are we now? We've done, that's all the speakers for that. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, we're moving on to the last item tonight, page 8, Bill 5323, Councilman Crandall, Bring Your Own Bag Act, exemptions and clarifications.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do realize the hour is late. My intention in bringing this bill forward was not to get into the argument that we had way back when, and we were doing amendments to amendments on the dais
And I think we just added to some confusion. I did not vote for the bill at the time. I'm not necessarily opposed to removing plastic bags from our general commerce. However, for me, my objection was always about the implementation. And I do not believe that 123, when the council passed it, I think that there were problems with it. And Bill 5323 is an attempt to rectify some of the things that I think the council got wrong. So 5323 adds two specific exceptions to the county's plastic bag ban law, one for liquor stores and the other for food service facilities. My conversations with the retail liquor store community, the industry members, some of their products are more easily and more safely transported in a plastic bag. And there's nothing to preclude that industry from encouraging their customers to bring reusable bags to the stores. And I think the industry could probably get behind something, an initiative like that. However, I think that liquor stores were sort of singled out, and no one really talked to them about the nature of some of the products that they sell and how people get them out of the store. The other exception for food service facilities is I found it, and I talked to some of my colleagues on the council, and I think that they may agree, that charging someone for a paper bag that has their fast food in it and requiring the retailer, the fast food establishment, to charge for a bag that they're already charging for. It's built into their cost of doing business. So I thought that that was something that maybe we could take a look at rectifying. And then finally, the bill clarifies what qualifies as a reusable bag. We got into great detail on stitching, and Mr. Bostwick, you might be able to help me out, but we got into great detail on describing what a consumer could use to go to the grocery store and carry their stuff out in, even though they're bringing their own bag. So I thought that we might take a serious look at rectifying that. And there's one other item that I think may come up in some of the testimony that's coming up tonight. I appreciate the dialogue with my colleagues on the council over the last few months. If we've reconsidered this, and I'll just wrap it up with that. So,
Well,
thank you, Mr. Chair.
thank you, Councilman Crandall. Any questions, comments from the members? Councilman Patoka?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilman Crandall, I appreciate you bringing this back, although it's kind of disappointing. I will say that I think the focus was on what we got wrong, but I would say in Bill 123, which was the first bill of this council, the 18th council, I believe, Chris, if that's correct, that we got a lot of things right on Bill 123. And I think it's symbolic of the thoughtfulness of this council in terms of that was the first bill that was brought forward. I think it's a good bill. Like I said, and I have respect to Councilman Crandall, but somewhat disappointed that it's being brought back before it even is initiated or implemented and taken place. Now, perhaps there's some place we could find a tweak that may or may not work that makes it better, but at this point, I was very pleased at the actions of the council back when we deliberate over Bill 1-23.
So, Councilman, thank you for your comments. One reason that I moved forward with sponsoring the bill at this time was that the law goes into effect late this fall, and businesses have to make plans on how they're going to react and reorganize or do what they need to do. So to have them do all of that work and then ask them to unwind all the work that the council is in the county is requiring them to do, I don't think is necessarily fair to the business community. So that's the reasoning for the timing. Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Councilman Ertel?
Question. Mr. Boswick, in the Bill 123, does that truly have something that says consumers cannot use certain kind of reusable bags?
I'm not sure what you mean, but it doesn't say.
I
that
don't think we
specifically.
legislated what anyone.
No,
I think
we
said something about
legislated what we
stitching.
said that that a retailer could sell or give
as a reusable
to their customers for a reusable bag, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Boswick.
We did define the term reusable bag and the definition in one, and I think
What's
to
the
your-
stitching? I remember,
right,
I mean,
to
I, yeah.
to the third component that Mr. Crandall alluded to or actually spoke about, the council did pass an amendment that where they intended to allow a reusable bag to also, not intended, the amendment did. The amendment allowed a reusable bag to be plastic film as long as it had a certain minimum thickness. But, and perhaps this is more of a drafting mistake on my part, we did not take into account the stitched handles aspect of that. And as I think most of us here know, most of these plastic bags, the ones that you're trying to get rid of even, have the handle built in. They've got the handle as part of the bag, and it's not like a stitched handle that is sort of separate affixed to the bag. And so what happened is, as a result of your amendment allowing a thicker plastic bag to be reusable, is it didn't have any application because it still had to be stitched handle. And so so what Mr. Crandall is his third aspect of his bill does is it recognizes that this minimum plastic bag, plastic film thickness doesn't have to be with stitched handles. It can be, and I think this is maybe the most illustrative. This is a thicker plastic bag that Mr. Phillips got at Sprouts, which is in Towson. Yeah. And it is a thicker one than your run-of-the-mill Home Depot or.
So Tom, that is a 2.5 mil plastic bag?
This one's actually 2.25.
2.25, okay.
Right, and it actually says, and I'm sure it says it in kind of a self-serving way, but it does say that, that this reusable and recyclable bag has been tested and can carry 22 pounds over 175 feet during 125 uses. This bag is 2.25 mils thick. The bag should be cleaned and disinfected after each use. And it has a few other things, but this is essentially, I think, the bag that was intended by the amendment that passed. It has the handles built in. So Mr. Crandall's bill would clarify that this is what you meant.
This is what the council meant.
Yes.
And that was something that I think that the chairman advocated.
Right.
Well.
Or even bigger or thicker than that.
Thicker,
That
right.
would be probably
the
a smaller one.
The
But
basement, the
people could have other bags. I've seen them big. Sometimes you see them, people use them like maybe going to the pool or the gym, and you have a real thick plastic container, if you will, or bag with a thick handle one. And it's all plastic, and it's much thicker than that. But the point I'm making is, when we say you have to have stitching, we are intentionally weeding out anything other than something made of some material with a cloth where you would need a stitch.
That's right, and then it's woven and it's
Right.
Created by weave and exactly. And there are plastics that are in reusable plastic bags with stitched handles that are woven, as well as other synthetics and cottons and other cloths. So yeah. And those are still okay. Those are still in the law. That was 123.
And this bill will basically incorporate the California standard in terms of plastic bags that are that are reusable.
That's right, the 2.25 mil.
Let me just say that I support the bills. I would love to hear the comments from the callers. But generally speaking, I voted against the original bill. And it was not because I had a problem with banning plastic bags. It was because I guess felt like the bill went entirely too far in terms of charging citizens who are working very hard for each and every dollar they make. And for us to stand here and say we're going to make them pay for a paper bag that comes from McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or any other fast food restaurant, whether or not the retailer wants it or not. I guess, like, what exactly is the goal of making people pay for something when they don't have a choice? Are we trying to be punitive? I mean, if we even gave it a lot of thought, once upon a time, it was all about use paper, use paper, use paper. Now we're saying, okay, don't use that. Then we got to a point where we say, don't use paper, use plastic. Now we're saying, don't use plastic and don't use paper. Well, the average family that goes out there and get lunch or dinner or whatever they have you from a McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or any other fast food restaurant should not be required to pay a nickel to the retailer who's not even asking for the nickel. In fact, we have a letter from the Restaurant Association saying they don't want to charge a nickel for those bags, and they support this legislation. So I don't, to my colleague, there are a lot of good things about the bill, but we don't fix things that are right. We fix things that are wrong. So I think that's the purpose of the bill, to fix some of the issues that were there. We didn't even get into a lot of the issues concerning some of the carve-outs. We have an amendment in the original bill that said mom and pop shops, people that own 1 or 2 or 3 establishments. Well, some of these 1, 2, and 3 establishments are supermarkets. Supermarkets. No, they're not Wegmans. They're not Giants, but they're supermarkets. They're not like mom and pop. I mean, you could call it mom and pop, but they're delivering an awful lot of groceries out that door each and every day. So we're here to fix the things that were wrong. And I'm not saying we need to change it, but we should keep that in mind as we talk about making people pay a nickel for a McDonald's bag when they don't have a choice, because the retailers don't want to put their food in your bag because it could be contaminated. So, any additional comments, questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Or a couple. I don't disagree that maybe there's things we need to tweak, but I also know that the biggest offenders of bag use are convenience stores and liquor stores, and often where people buy something like this and the liquor store owner says, "Would you like a bag?" "Sure, I'd like a bag." And then after the bag, they take the bag outside, toss it in the parking lot. That's what they do. Same thing with convenience stores. People buy M&Ms and a soda and throw the bag on the parking lot. So I think anything we can do to discourage that in any bills we pass, this has nothing to do with fast food, and I'm not, but, I think we were right in what we were trying to do, because again, we're using 330 million bags, plastic bags in this county alone a year. And I feel like we're kind of retrying this bill with certain, comments on it. But I think we can all work together to come up with a solution here. So I say that with love, Chairman.
Oh, I think no, I think, listen, I think is worthy of more study. That's what we hear today. But one of the things I wanted to say, I did a number, I don't have it in front of me, but to be clear, you know, for a family of 3 or 4, we're talking about a nickel for those bags. I bet you that number can add up to, for a family of 3 or 4, probably close to $100 a year or more, just on a nickel here, nickel there, nickel here, nickel there. Especially if you get breakfast and lunch, and maybe every now and then you get a dinner from, and you get a couple of bags. I mean, these nickel charges can add up. But anyway, we got a lot of people waiting to
Mr.
talk.
Chair, if I
Yes.
could just add, so that same family could choose to bring their own bag. And
Not
then
to
it
a
would be no
McDonald's.
cost.
They can't bring their own bag to a McDonald's. McDonald's don't want to put their food in your bag.
If they're spending $100 in bags in McDonald's, then they've got other issues to worry about.
Well,
And I would say, let me just add that in Bill 123, Baltimore County, we were viewed as leaders. And so I think it's really great that Baltimore County is viewed as leaders in the region because we don't get that many opportunities. So it was really great. And so now, once we were in the lead where other counties were saying, well, how did Baltimore County do it? That, you know, we want to go backwards and say, well, let's not really do it.
Councilman, I can't let you go on that one. We were not the leaders. We were far from the leaders. Our council produced a chart of what other jurisdictions have done, whether they charge, whether what they require. We were not the leaders.
Well, I guess we are looking at the same thing and see two different things.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
I happen to like eating at Panera Bread, and they give me a paper bag. But anyway. Any additional questions or comments? Let's hear from the speaker, shall we? Let's hear from first speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Our first speaker, Mr. Chair, is Zachary Taylor. Mr. Taylor, you are on as a panelist. You may begin your testimony.
Good evening, Chair, members of the council. It's a pleasure to be with you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm the director of the American Recyclable Plastic Bag Alliance. We work closely with you all on the initial bill. I just want to reiterate our support for the work that went into that to amend it right before passage to allow for reusable plastic film bags to be part of the solution. As you may recall, there's a facility in Elkridge, Maryland that employs 176 people, most of which are actually Baltimore County residents that make those products. It was a long and late night, and for whatever reason, the ultimate amendment did not appropriately allow for those products via the statutory text. And so we're here in support of that change to establish the California standard that you led the effort on, Chair, and I appreciate that a lot. You know, want to just clarify a few things that we heard earlier. The amendment was adopted, if I recall correctly, unanimously. And so this is just a cleanup. It's not a change. It's not really moving backwards. It's something that's already been supported, and we appreciate that. As far as concerns about plastic bags in the environment and as litter, Keep America Beautiful's survey says 0.6% of items collected at litter cleanups are plastic bags. We, of course, would prefer that number to be 0. If there are other things we can do with the county to collaborate to increase opportunities for plastic bag recycling, or work with businesses in the community to ensure that receptacles outside of their stores are properly covered to make sure that bags are not blowing out of them, those are things we'd like to work with you all on in the future. But overall, I just want to highlight again our support for this change and the appreciation of you all bringing this back to make sure that what was discussed and what was agreed to actually is reflected in statute and local ordinance, so businesses can choose to use a 100% recyclable, Maryland-made reusable plastic film bag if they so choose. Clearing up this exemption and clarification about what is a reusable bag does not preclude any business from adopting whatever bag policy they want, as long as it is at least this minimum standard. So those stores that want to use stitched handles, like some grocery stores have already been mentioned tonight, can still do so. This just provides additional flexibility to use a more affordable and recyclable product. And we're in support of that. So happy to take any questions, discuss this further. I know there's some discussion about the products themselves. As the industry voice, happy to clarify that or explain why the bags are labeled the way they are, or what the testing process is like, etc. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. We appreciate your comments, and you're absolutely correct. The amendment did pass unanimously.
Mr. Chair, just, for Mr. Taylor, just real quick, what is the California standard for mill thickness of what's considered a reusable plastic bag?
Thank you very much, Councilman. The standard is 2.2 mils or 2.25 mil thick.
Okay, so that is the exact bag that we have a sample of here, right? 2.25 mil. Okay.
That's not what the bill says.
That's not what the bill says. The bill's at 2.5.
2.6.
2.6.
The bill, the bill, before this was an issue, the bill just said what had been in previous Bill 123, but since then, I believe Mr. Jones indicated that, a possible amendment on that because of that California standard.
We can talk, right?
I believe you all were discussing, not all,
Okay.
but you two were discussing that.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for the speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, what did you say the percentage of bags that were in the waste stream were?
All right. Thank you, Councilman, for the question. Two separate statistics, but I have that as well. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, their analysis of the municipal solid waste stream found that all plastic bags and sacks, so that includes everything from tortilla chip bags to hefty trash bags to plastic grocery bags, account for 0.3% of the municipal solid waste stream. The statistic I cited earlier was in relation to items collected during litter cleanups, according to Keep America Beautiful's National Roadway and Waterway litter survey, where plastic grocery bags account for 0.6% of items collected. Again, we want to work with the community to support, litter reduction efforts, but plastic bags, based on the study, are not a driver of litter in the community.
I clean up trash a couple times a week. Can I send you my 0.6% of bags that I find? Because it's a lot more than that.
Councilman, I certainly appreciate the individual experience. I'm just sharing with you the research that was done by Keep America Beautiful in communities across the country.
Thank you.
Okay, and you say that was an EPA?
Thank you, Chair. Two separate studies. So when it relates to the percentage of plastic grocery bags in the solid waste stream, that is data from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. When we're discussing the number of bags, the amount of bags that are found, unfortunately littered, that is data from an organization called Keep America Beautiful.
Okay.
So, two separate sources. Apologies for the confusion.
No confusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your.
Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Sarah Price. Ms. Price, you're on as a panelist, and you may begin your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Apologies for any ambient noise in the background, but this is Sarah Price on behalf of the Maryland Retailers Association. We just wanted to share a question about some of the language in the legislation. It sounds like the intention is only to include restaurants under the definition of food service facilities. But at this time, a lot of grocery stores offer hot bars and prepared food items that can be purchased by customers either to eat there in company at the grocery store or when to the home. Also, there is a bit of concern that the current definition of food service facility could exclude grocery stores from selecting that lifestyle. So the bill reiterates the point of the bill not to the train fee structure due to the high cost of bringing paper bags into the stores. So if it is potential, the president to move forward with this legislation, and if it is your intention, only be exempting restaurants and not grocery stores, then we would simply recommend that you maybe change the language to make that clear that we were you're referring to restaurants and it's not intended to.
Okay, Ms. Price, you may want to send us some written testimony. Your audio was very, very chopped up. I don't know if you had two speakers on. I'm not sure what was going on. I was trying to figure out the problem so I could recommend you do something else, but I couldn't figure it out. Sometimes it was like an echo and other times it was just choppy at best. So we did not get most of it.
I apologize. I just simply, is this any better?
That is much better.
I'm sorry. I was actually writing the light route momentarily. We just simply wanted to clarify that the intention is only to exclude restaurants from collecting the fee and that this was not supposed to impact grocery stores. It sounds like that is the case, and if that is so, then we would just recommend that the council consider updating the language in the legislation to make clear that it should only impact restaurants.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your comments. We got it. Only restaurants, and we're not talking about grocery stores. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Our next speaker is Suzanne Richardson. Ms. Richardson, you are on as a panelist and you begin your testimony.
Members, I'm here speaking on behalf of the Sierra Club. We're at a transformational moment in our society where we're trying to think about where resources come from and where they go. And that is really what this bill is about. It's to encourage people to change their habits and to think in a more ecological way about and sustainable way about their lifestyles. So the Greater Baltimore Sierra Club urges you to oppose CB 5323. The bill would greatly reduce the environmental benefits of the Bring Your Own Bag Act by allowing plastic film carry-out bags greater than 2.6 mils to be considered reusable, by exempting liquor stores from any restrictions, and by exempting all restaurants from the mandatory minimum charge for paper and reusable bags. The proposal to allow plastic film carry-out bags greater than 2.6 mils thick with no requirement that they be designed for multiple reuse would substantially undermine the act. Film plastic bags may be cheaper than paper or reusable bags, but they contribute to litter, entangle aquatic life, and foul up recycling equipment. The city of Baltimore has banned plastic film carry-out bags less than 4 mils thick. Many stores respect the intent of the law to reduce plastic and only provide paper and sturdy reusable bags with stitched handles. However, both Safeway and Target are providing thicker 4 mil plastic bags, undermining the intent of the bill. Westminster has had similar problems with their ban on plastic carry-out bags less than 3 mils. Based on this experience, recently passed carry-out bag bills have abandoned bag thickness as even a criterion and adopted a new standard to protect the environment. The new best practice defines reusable carry-out bags as bags designed for multiple reuse with stitch handles made of a durable material suitable for multiple reuse that is not made of plastic film. This was the definition of a reusable bag in the Bag Act as introduced. This definition excludes all film plastic bags of any thickness. It is identical to the bills that passed over the past year in Anne Arundel County, Prince George's County, and 6 other Maryland municipalities. It is the best practice that is being recognized throughout Maryland and the country. And we see no rationale for excluding liquor stores from the bill or exempting restaurants from the charge for carry-out bags. The bill has already been significantly weakened by completely exempting so-called small retailers. Furthermore, the time to consider amendments is after it has been under implementation for some time, based on an evaluation of its impact and any unintended consequences. The bill was only approved 6 months ago, and its provisions will not be implemented until November. Preparations are now underway for the bill as written, and changes at this time would simply sow confusion. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. I have a question for you.
Sure.
In your world, how do you foresee a family not paying the charge when they want to go to Chick-fil-A?
I think ultimately what will happen over time, what I hope will happen, is a transformation in the way we think. That not everything is disposable. Resources are created from the earth and they will return to the earth. And on that, we want to reduce that passage as much as possible. And I do believe that over time, people will change their habits, not necessarily based on the 5 cent per bag, but certainly that doesn't hurt matters. And ultimately, it will transform how we think about our lives and how we live today.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Our next speaker, Mr. Chair, is Robert Fryer. Mr. Fryer, you are on as a panelist and may begin your testimony.
Hello, this is Rob Freer, also representing the Sierra Club. And real quick, I'd like to comment on the bag that Mr. Hewitt held up. If Mr. Hewitt, I believe it's Mr. Hewitt, wants a hold of that bag. That is exactly the bag that we do not want in Baltimore County. And I'll explain why. Based upon this new bill, these film plastic bags will be 3 times as thick as the plastic bags that the original bill aims to phase out. Imagine that, 3 times the plastic, 3 times more plastic to landfill, incineration, and litter. And we all see the litter and we see the bags in the trees and on the side of the road. Councilman Ortel, you can multiply 330 million times 3 times the plastic. The film plastic bags are exactly what we are trying to eliminate. Now, we mentioned something about stitch handles. There are the thicker, heavier plastic bags that I think Councilman Jones was referring to that have the big handles and you carry all your stuff in them. They may be plastic, but they have stitched handles. So the distinguishing point here is film plastic. So we definitely want to eliminate the film plastic. Now, some people will claim that they're reusable, the film plastic, the thicker bags. They say, oh, but they're reusable, so it's okay. Or they might say they're recyclable. So let's talk about reusable. Well, theoretically, they're reusable, just like a straw that you get from Chick-fil-A might be reusable, but nobody's going to reuse it. And I know this for a fact because, as Suzanne mentioned, in Baltimore City, where they unfortunately have the 4 mil thickness, Safeway and Target are providing these thicker bags. So I spent a lot of time observing those stores, actually as recently as this Saturday in Baltimore City. And I've observed hundreds of shoppers walking out of the stores with those thicker plastic bags, 2, 3 bags. I've counted up to 8 or 9 bags of people carrying out. And I've observed the checkout lines, and I'm looking to see if anybody's bringing those bags back. If the bag that I see coming out of the store actually went into the store. And I can tell you that in the at least 2 hours that I've spent over time observing, I saw hundreds of people walking out with bags. I saw not one person walk in with one of those Target or Safeway bags that the assumption would be they got 3 or 4 last week or the week before. They're not reused. Those bags are not reused. As far as recycling, the industry was very careful to say they're recyclable. However, they're not recycled. Baltimore County does not recycle, and most municipalities cannot recycle film plastic bags. In fact, it's the opposite is true. If they get into the recycling stream, they foul up the equipment. They have to shut it down and send people in to clean it up, to get the equipment cleaned up. So those bags are not reused and they're not recycled. They end up as in the waste stream or maybe in the stream behind your house. Having a thickness standard for film plastic bags is definitely not the best practice in bag legislation. In fact, it's a bad idea to have that thickness standard for film plastic bags only. You may know that Anne Arundel County and Prince George's County, as well as 6 other Maryland jurisdictions, recently passed bring your own bag bills that do not allow film plastic bags of any thickness. That is the new standard. In fact, we could call that the Maryland standard. Film plastic bags are single-use bags that should not be used in Baltimore County. And just a quick word about food service. I've heard it said that you cannot bring your own bag into a restaurant or a McDonald's or whatever. And I can tell you that you absolutely can. You absolutely can. I've done it many times. You can bring your own bag into Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or, you know, any restaurant or fast food. So if somebody really wants to avoid that bag fee and they're determined to do that, they certainly can avoid it. Thank you.
Or they can eat in, then they don't have to take it anywhere.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just want to clarify one thing that might be getting lost. And I'm not advocating, I'm just informing, which I think is my job. Current law that was passed in Bill 123, per an amendment that this council passed to that bill, allows currently a plastic film bag that has a thickness greater than 2.6 mils. So you've already decided that issue, at least you did then. Now you may revisit it, but so what the bill does not alter that. The only thing it alters is that exception, or whatever you want to call it, that additional reusable plastic bag that's a plastic film with a thickness greater than 2.6 mils was lumped in with a bag with stitched handles. And so all the bill does currently is take it out of that realm. So it's ones that we all know of that are built-in handles, not stitched. So I just want the council to be aware of that. The council back in the beginning of this year passed Bill 123 that included the definition of a reusable carryout bag to mean a bag with stitched handles designed for reuse, made of cloth or other washable fabric or a durable material suitable for reuse, not made of plastic film, except for plastic film that has a thickness greater than 2.6 mils. So you passed that already. I just think that needs to be clarified.
I thank you very much. Councilman Ertel, question, comment?
I think the point here is that we don't want those sold as or used as a replacement for the current film bag, the flimsy bag, that they're not going to be added to that we're just going to start using those and calling them reusable, and they're sold for 12 cents or something.
I actually think, though, Mr. Phillips was charged 5 cents for that bag as a reusable bag.
Just as a point of clarification, I want to make sure I did not go specifically to Sprouts looking for this bag. I shopped as a normal person would and noticed that it met these requirements afterwards. I just want to make sure so that we're not singling out the one place that we have an example from.
Well,
but you were charged by.
And I was charged.
Okay.
Charge us for it.
Councilman Crandall, I'm not sure, I was speaking with representatives from Trade Point, and they were telling me that there's going to be some new recycling facility there that's going to do like an incredible job on recycling plastics. From what I understand, today's standard plastics go from every time you recycle it, it goes to a lower level or lower grade of use. That there's a process that's going to keep it the same. You come in with a plastic bottle, the material it's going to produce can create a new plastic bottle. Anyway, that's something I heard. Next speaker.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Beth Miller. I believe Ms. Miller is on by phone, so I'm going to unmute her. Ms. Miller?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chairman Jones and the county council persons for this opportunity to testify. I am speaking in opposition to Bill 53-23, representing the Greenhouse Alliance, which, as you know, advocates for a greener, healthier, more beautiful community. The legislation aims to amend legislation passed just 8 months ago, as you know, and I think we've talked about whether that's appropriate or not, but I can tell you, since I started getting interested in what happens in your offices there, it's the first time I've seen such a thing happen, that a bill was being amended before it's even gone into effect. And the goal of the Bring Your Own Bag bill was to greatly reduce the harmful impacts of plastic bags throughout their life cycle. And we do feel this new bill undermines that goal. I urge the county council to heed the testimony by the Sierra Club regarding best practices being used by 8 Maryland municipalities. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. They have discovered what works and what is effective, and I don't see any reason to question that. Those jurisdictions also have restaurants and liquor stores that are conducting business with this model plastic bag ban. I also question the study by Keep America Beautiful. I did look them up quickly, and their partners include Reynolds, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Mars Wrigley, Igloo, McDonald's, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I don't know that group of corporations has got the same interests as the Sierra Club or the Greenhouse Alliance. And I don't want to be removing 2-point-whatever mil plastic bags out of our streams for years to come. A few of you are as old as me, which is pretty old, and you may recall a time when plastic bags did not exist, and yet we were able to bring products to and fro in other containers. We can do this. Let's not be the exception in how we limit the effectiveness of model legislation in Baltimore County. Let's be exceptional in our commitment to put the future of our children, wildlife, and our climate first. Please align with other jurisdictions. Do not pass Bill 5323 and weaken Baltimore County's plastic bag ban.
Well, let me do some math. We have 23 counties in the state of Maryland. So if 6 of them did something, I guess that means the other, 18, 19 did not? But anyway, this next speaker.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Beth, are you still on?
I muted her, but I can unmute her, Councilman. Oh, she's back on.
Yeah, Beth, can you
Yeah.
tell, has the Sierra Club changed their model bill recently?
I don't believe so. I mean,
You-
I believe that, in fact, Bill 1-23 was modified from even that bill was modified from the model bill. I believe they felt that the model bill should be 10 cents a bag, that was the sweet spot. And I think there
Right,
was even
remember
someone from the, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
so as far as you don't remember the bill, the model bill did not include any, allowing any plastic bag that, like the one that's in the bill now that wasn't in the model bill.
Well, I think the distinction is the stitched handles, and I think it's, you
Yeah,
know, a
not
strange
that one.
psychological fact that when you have a stitched handle on a bag, you consider that something you reuse. I mean, it seems a little crazy, but I think if you think about if you're carrying one with stitched handles and one that's just plastic, you consider the one that's just plastic a throwaway.
The reason I asked the question is that when I spoke with the Sierra Club, what they said is that they've been pushing legislation like this for quite a bit of time. And they're learning from their experiences, and their model bill has indeed changed over the years. And I was wondering, that's
I don't
really
know-
all I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd urge you to check in with them on that. I don't know if it's changed since January.
Right. I don't know. I was just wondering. So thank you, Beth.
Next speaker. Thank you so much, Beth, for calling in and We appreciate your comments. Chris, next speaker, please.
Certainly. Our next speaker is Brendan Mahoney, and Mr. Mahoney is here in person.
Thank you for hanging in there, Mr. Mahoney.
Mr. Mahoney, I did get a request from someone that attends these meetings quite often and sits there for 2 or 3 hours. These are hard chairs out there. We got padded chairs
I
up
feel
here.
like I'm in church. You know?
Welcome to the County Council pews.
Awesome. Well, good evening, Council. Brendan Mahoney representing the Restaurant Association of Maryland and our members with Baltimore County business locations. We're here to testify in support of Bill number 53-23. Bring your own. Yeah, I need to bring it on.
There we go.
But testify in support of this legislation for various reasons. Complying with the language of the original bill as it was passed is more challenging for restaurants than for retail stores. As we understand it, the goal of the bag fee is to incentivize customers to bring their own reusable bag. This doesn't work for restaurants because if reusable bags pose legitimate food safety concerns, because of potential cross-contamination risks associated with reusable bags. Generally, customers might use it to shop at the grocery store and carry raw beef or seafood, and our restaurants don't know that those bags have been properly sanitized. So I'll repeat again, our restaurants do not allow folks to use reusable bags. Since there's no alternative to paper, the bag fee simply becomes punitive for the customer because it becomes unavoidable. Further, requiring restaurants to charge customers a fee for carryout bags is problematic for fast food restaurants, where orders aren't bagged until after the customer has already paid. Cashiers generally do not know how many bags an order would require ahead of time, so it's very difficult for those establishments to be compliant. For restaurants with drive-through windows, the speed of service would be significantly slowed. We've seen folks request items be handed through the drive-through window individually to avoid a bag fee. And also for dine-in customers who want a doggy bag for leftovers after they already paid the check, it would be difficult for that waitress or waiter to go over there and subsequently charge a carry-out bag fee. We are in the hospitality business, and especially if it was a large check, it would give them the impression that we are nickel and diming our customers. Finally, there's some talk about precedent with other jurisdictions. Anne Arundel County passed a similar ordinance just a few months ago, and they exempted restaurants entirely from the requirement to charge a bag fee. And also just recently, the city of Salisbury is revisiting their ordinance. They had the fee in there originally, but they've run in due to concerns expressed by restaurant owners and complaints they've received from restaurant owners. They're looking to amend the legislation to exempt restaurants from charging the bag fee. And then also, I did want to make a comment. I believe she would be next on the testimony list. Andrea Conrad of Conrad's Crabs was here. She wanted me to relay along that she will be submitting written testimony. She unfortunately had to head out, but she wanted me to also share that she has locations in Parkville, Perry Hall, and a seasonal location in Jacksonville, and also 2 locations in Harford County. And therefore, under the original legislation, she currently does not get an exemption despite being a very local and mom and pop shop.
And I can tell you, I know, I believe she spoke before about crab juice or something
that was
staying in somebody's car.
Yeah, that was another one of our members.
Okay.
But yeah, so she unfortunately did not get an opportunity. She's busy with her business at the time to testify on the original legislation.
Well, I appreciate it very much, and thank you for coming in. And you raise a very good point, one that I guess we should keep in mind. Many business owners are out there struggling right now, working hard, trying to run their business, don't have time to come in here and debate about a charge on the bag.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time, Council.
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you hanging in there.
That word.
Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. As the gentleman stated, the next speaker was Andrea Conrad. Unfortunately, she had to depart. Our final speaker is Maggie Ostal. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You're on as a panelist and may begin your testimony.
Hi, good evening. That was well done. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. My name is Maggie Ostal, Senior Conservation Policy Manager at National Aquarium. I'm also a Baltimore County resident. I'm looking forward to the implementation of the Bring Your Own Bag Act as passed earlier this year. I'm here on behalf of National Aquarium to encourage the council not to weaken the law. Our organization proudly partners with County's Department of Environmental Protection and Sustainability on cleanup and restoration efforts, including supporting over 50 community cleanups where hundreds of volunteers have removed more than 3,000 retail plastic bags, along with lots of other mostly plastic trash. Cleanups remove harmful plastic from the environment and increase awareness of the issue, but they cannot keep up with the increasingly overflowing tap of plastic pollution. Evidence from more than 500 communities throughout the U.S. and at least 100 countries around the world demonstrates that limiting plastic bag distribution reduces plastic bag litter and the substantial taxpayer costs of addressing that litter. It's nice to live in a community where efforts are in place to limit unnecessary plastic bags while encouraging everyone to use our reusable bags. And I'll just say, relative to a variety of comments this evening, as the saying goes, it's reduce, reuse, and then recycle. The specific components of plastic bag policy do matter. The proposed clarifications and exemptions proposed in this bill will lessen effectiveness of the Bring Your Own Bag Act that this council passed just months ago and would create unnecessary confusion as the county works to implement the bill. Thank you for your work to reduce plastic pollution. I encourage you to reject these amendments and keep moving forward with implementation of the Bring Your Own Bag bill as enacted.
Okay, thank you so much. We really appreciate you hanging in there and sharing your thoughts and concerns with us. We appreciate it very much. Let's see here. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns before we close out? And thank everybody for testifying. We certainly appreciate you taking the time and appreciate all the members hanging in there. And we'll see you. Have yourself a very safe and enjoyable holiday weekend. And we look forward to seeing you Tuesday. Be safe.